Go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, no, you're okay. Okay, I am Lizzie, and this is my final video project, and we are doing Situation 5.
Oh my gosh, today was just such a rough day with Tommy in my class. He's just so distracting to all the other kids. It's just frustrating, and I feel like I can never get anything done.
Is Tommy the BD student that we have here?
Yes. And oh my gosh, he just has to have all these accommodations. And it's so frustrating because he's just such a distraction and he's constantly doing this and that. Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, I understand that can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
To have distractions and extra distractions that are taking away from your students' learning, but what specifically do you notice Tommy is doing that's causing such a big distraction?
Well, one of the biggest things is he has that ball to sit on during class for like the sensory, and all he does is just bounce on it, and all these other students are looking at him and they're like, ooh, I want to try it, I want one of those to sit on. So sometimes they'll act up because they think that, oh, Tommy acts up so he gets the ball to sit on, I'm going to act up so I can get a ball to sit on. And so it's just one big jumbled mess after that.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the major distractions that you're dealing with in your classroom is involving Tommy's accommodation that he has earned, which is the ball that he can bounce on as he's doing his work or assignments or listening to you talk.
Yeah.
And that is causing a major distraction.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I understand that. That's hard. I would encourage you to maybe think of a few other solutions that you can enact in your classroom to maybe make this less of a distraction next time Tommy uses the ball. And
how do I do that? How do I go about that?
Well, I have a couple ideas, and it's ultimately up to you what you want to do as the primary classroom teacher, but I think a really good idea would be to sort of introduce the other students to this accommodation and explain to them very upfront what it's for and why it's useful. And this is something Tommy needs to learn, and you can present it to them in that way, and maybe even give them a chance during free time or recess to try out the ball for themselves, because I think a large part of it is just their curiosity of something different, and they want to try it, and they think it looks fun, and they want to be involved with a new fun activity. So maybe give them an opportunity to experience that, and then after they've gotten over their curiosity, then maybe it won't be such a distraction. It won't seem like such a big deal next time. Another idea would be maybe to talk to the para or the teacher who is in the classroom with Tommy and see if there's anything else that, any other accommodation that he can use that would be less of a distraction. I would really encourage you to have a dialogue with whoever that person is. I think that would be your best bet at this point to reduce any further distraction.
I can try those, but what if I do let the other students try out the ball and then they try to steal it from Tommy because they want it instead of him? Mm-hmm. How would I go about that?
Well, that is tough because we both know that this age of kids can be very distracted very easily. But I think maybe just keep trying to raise that awareness in the kids, and maybe even offer some kind of a reward if they leave the ball alone and leave Tommy alone while he's using the ball, and make some sort of an incentive for these kids to sort of forget about it and think about something else as the new reward.
I can try that.
Okay.
Now, another thing, when we're doing more hands-on projects, mm-hmm. like today during math, we were using blocks to count, mm-hmm. and for the higher numbers, and Tommy is throwing them across the room, and I try to take them away, and he just acts up again and throws other things and just has a fit. And so the other kids are staring at him now instead of doing their work, and the para can't control him.
Mm-hmm.
How am I supposed to get the students' attention away from Tommy and let the para deal with Tommy while I go on with my lesson instead of wasting time?
I understand what you're saying. That is a difficult aspect of inclusion in the classroom, and I think that inclusion is extremely beneficial for the student with special needs as well as every other student in the classroom. Although it is beneficial, it definitely adds extra effort and sometimes stress into your life. So I do understand where you're coming from. I think that you should, again, talk with the para, and you guys can figure out a different plan for these situations, and you can have an incentive system or reward system for Tommy for when he is doing these activities that cause him to act up. You'll have this incentive reward system in place and offer him extra time on his ball or extra time doing another activity that he really enjoys to stop these distractions and to stop this acting out. I think that is a really hard part of having him mainstreamed in your classroom and involved in all the activities and all of the lessons, and it is difficult to control that when there's so many distractions around, there's so many other things going on, and he needs this specific help. But you need to remember that you really are doing him a huge favor, I guess you could even say, by including him in all of these activities, because it's what he needs to have a beneficial education. And it might just take a little extra work on your part, but if you talk to the para, talk to other teachers, get some ideas of things you can do to eliminate these distractions, and work with Tommy with where he's at and really continue to accommodate to where he's at, I think that you'll notice less distraction and more progress from him even. I think it really does involve a lot of conversation and dialogue, though, between you and the para, the other teachers, to get more ideas and so forth.
Right. I've never really enjoyed having kids with special needs in my classroom, but since I do have Tommy in my classroom, I've got to figure out some way to help him to learn, I guess.
That's a great attitude. I think you just gotta keep trying, keep communicating and collaborating, and I would love to stop by your classroom sometime just to sit in and see how things are going, if you don't mind, if that would be helpful for you.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. I can always use more input to help control my kids.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you.
Thanks.